Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton and welcome to my channel. Today's video we're going to talk about our purpose in life. And it's something that we've all questioned ourselves about at one time or another or in various situations. What am I supposed to do? What's my purpose? What's this all about? So I guess we could start by saying that our conduct in this life is the measurement of a place that we will earn in the world to come. So I felt very much drawn to some words that have been in a little booklet, or it's not a booklet, I guess, it's a book, and it's called The Path of the Just. And this is by a rabbi called Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, I beg your pardon, Luzzatto. And this was written many years ago, and it has since been translated, and I will just show you that so that you can see the book. And I have had it for some time. I refer back to it lots of times just for a little bit of inspiration, or just a bit of, because it's got small sections and wonderful chapters in it, and it's not hard to read. It's a beautiful book. I believe I purchased it on Amazon some time ago. It escapes me what I paid for it, but I know it wasn't very expensive. And as I said, it is just a little sort of pocket book. So it's something that's worth having in your home. There's lots of answers in it for everyday questions we ask ourselves. So let us move right along now. And as I said, I've been inspired by what I've been reading in there when it says, what is our purpose in life? So, and that I think began on, just to give you a reference, page 8 of the book. It's chapter 1, Man's Duty in His World is what it's called. So it's the very first chapter. But like all of these older writings, they're action-packed. So this conduct that we display, or behaviour we display in this present world, is a measurement of what we're going to receive in the next world. And the first thing I wanted to discuss was say, well, what is our duty? What is our duty in this world? Well, we could say that the divine presence surrounds us at all times, and I've spoken about this several times before on other videos. So we're bathed, cloaked in this divine presence. So nothing we do or say or think or contemplate escapes the divine presence. So it's there the whole time, and it's up to us to tap into it. So our duty and the desired outcome for us is to journey diligently through what has been described in this book as a corridor, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful explanation. So this life we have now is journeying through a corridor with lots of doorways and chambers, etc. And we're on our way to mapping out the world to come for us. That's really, it's a journey, a task-orientated journey. Now, number 2 to bring up is that how do we execute our duties or our duty during our lifetime, during this journey through this corridor? How do we do that? Well, it clearly tells us that we are to observe the mitzvot, meaning the commandments that we have been given. And if we observe those as God commanded them, that's what we're supposed to do. Okay, that's fair enough. So the next question that comes to mind for us is number 3. What are these mitzvot? What are they? What are these commandments? Well, for all mankind, these are the 7 Noahide laws, 7 divine principles to live by that God has given us, and they are for all mankind, both Jews and Gentiles. And I've spoken at length before in other videos about what those individual mitzvahs or commandments are. So we're to observe them not because we think they're a good idea, but because God has commanded them. 6 were given to Adam in the Garden of Eden, and the 7th was given to Noah when he exited the ark. So if you want to find out more about them, just go through the playlists on my video channel here, and you'll be able to locate some more videos about that. So the question number 4 is, how do we behave? How do we conduct ourselves as we go through? Well, how we conduct ourselves or how we behave today actually determines tomorrow. It does. And it also determines our place in the world to come. So the ball's in our court, as they say. How we behave will determine that bounce of that ball and the direction it goes in. Something else is that when we cling to that divine presence that's surrounding us, we are enabled by Hashem. God enables us in that divine presence, and enables us to strive and to bathe in that surrounding presence. So it gives us confidence. It gives us, how shall I say, a feeling of empowerment that we can better what we're doing. While we're bathed in that divine presence, that is giving us the strength to live by those 7 divine commandments. It's giving us the strength and the incentive to understand that the world was created for us to exercise the duties that we're supposed to do. It's not our permanent home, but it is certainly our workspace where we have to prove ourselves. So we must be conscious of those 7 divine commandments in all that we do. Then when we cleave to Hashem, our blessed Father, by our good deeds, by doing our good deeds, example, things like kindness, mercy, justice, towards all mankind. These are basic human values that we should embrace and we should execute towards others. So that is the recipe, for want of a better word, but that's the guidelines. If we stick by those 7 Noahide laws, live by them correctly, as God has commanded us, then we're certainly going to be strengthened by that divine presence, by the divine light that surrounds us. Now, this world that we live in now, it's but a temporary place. I'm sure all of you understand that. It's a temporary place where we are to do good, to live a righteous life, be a righteous individual according to our commandments, and then at that degree of righteousness, how we execute our duties, how we live our life and treat others, is happens as we progress towards that world to come, that permanent home. The other thing is that we must understand, really, continuing on from the previous paragraph, that this world as we know it is not our permanent residence. It's a, how shall we say, for want of a better word, I guess we could say it's an exchange depot. It's a point of where goodness and behaviour are exchanged for the benefits, benefits in the future, in that future world to come. So our goodness and our righteousness, how we conduct ourselves, how we behave, is an account, goes into an account that will actually determine our passage, our ticket onto our permanent residence. That is the world to come. So let's just think about that. This is the world we're living in now is our exchange depot, where we're building up credits, hopefully many of them, in exchange for that first class ticket, that passage to the world to come, the reward we're going to receive. Now, the other thing we need to also be very conscious of during our journey, during our exchange depot occurrences, that our soul was given to us by God. He determined our soul, just as he determined what parents we'd be born to. And our soul is not very comfortable at all in this present world. It's not made to dwell in this world. It's down here to accomplish a mission in our body, which we should be helping it accomplish. And so, therefore, our soul needs to complete its ordained mission that God has given it. It's got a mission to complete. And as you know, it may be recycled, our soul. This may not be the first time it's had to come down to earth. So, and I guess we could say that the return to its permanent residence is really what its mission is. It wants to return and dwell in the glory of God. It wants to return to those heavenly chambers. So the glory of the divine, etc. So it's not really, it's not wanting to take up too much real estate in this present world. So the return, we and the soul want to go back to that permanent address. We need to ensure that our soul gets safe passage back there. Now, according to this, we also have to be very careful of certain things as we go through life. And just to give you some examples would be that we must be vigilant and enthusiastic about conducting ourselves in a righteous manner, about the 7 Noahide laws. We must be wholesome in our character. We need to practice piety and holiness. And I mean practice it because it does not come easy all the time. There are situations where we could say that we're not behaving in a pious manner and we're not being terribly holy. But above all, though, we must be fearful of any sin. Fear of sin is a big thing. And that makes us stop and think, no, wait a minute, that could be sinful, or that could lead to a sin. No, I've got to find a way around this. I can't do that. But most of all, along the way in our journey to and from the exchange depot, we should be humble in all we do. It doesn't mean we have to sit there with our head downcast and not say a word. We can be happy and joyous and things like that, but what we're doing is our good deeds must be done in a humble manner. You know, we don't run down the street then and tell everyone what we've done. So be kind, be humble, be conscious of other people's dignity, and of course the other thing is that we must pray regularly when we feel we need to. And certainly when we need help, we have to pray. As Gentiles, we're commanded to do that. If we're in danger or in need of anything, by all means pray. But you know, it is a good thing to do to set aside some time for regular voluntary prayer, because that way that kind of increases that closeness within that divine presence, which is we benefit from. So I want to thank you all, my subscribers, and I always am happy for you to comment, and most certainly very happy for you to share my videos. But in the meantime, I want you just to think about this, that, you know, we are walking through a corridor during our lifetime, and how we walk through that corridor determines how our reception or our exchange value is going to be in relation to the world to come. So give that some thought. But in the meantime, I want you to please take care, and God bless you all.